E-Bike Nation. This is the Espin 21 Sport in matte black. It's a commuter and light trail riding e-bike. We're going to check it out today on the channel, so stay tuned. Let's roll. Alright, so if you're new to the channel, I'm an e-bike enthusiast, does rides, reviews, and has fun on e-bikes. So welcome, and hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Definitely got lots of videos coming at you, a lot of group rides, more e-bike reviews, and just how to have fun on these things, because they're just a blast to use and ride. I'd like to thank Espin for sending me this free bike to review today. Gonna give you my honest opinion. They did send it to me for free, but you know what? It's actually a great e-bike, so I have no problems pitching this to the audience overall. So this company's been around since about 2015. They've gone to a bunch of iterations with some of their bikes, and I think this version here is one of their best. So gotta give them a shout out to Espin. They're based in California. Their founders are of Taiwanese descent, so they have some connections in Taiwan and China for getting parts, things like that. They've actually branded their own motors with Espin on them, and they've done a pretty great job with support so far. I did have one issue with this bike when I first got it. I'll tell you about that later. But yeah, just got to give a shout out to Espin for doing all this. And you can save 50 bucks on any Espin bike if you go to espinbikes.com using the link in my description here. Just click that link, and anything you buy in Espin, 50 bucks off, courtesy of the Crisscross channel. So definitely check it out if you're looking to buy an e-bike. They've got 5 different models, from kind of the Aero road bike to the commuter bike here to a couple of fat tires as well. So definitely check out that link on the description, and give us some credit there if you do purchase one from Espin. So let's go over some of the specs first. You've got the 27.5 by 2.1 inch mountain bike tires, very grippy. I'll show you a quick little montage of what the tread looks like. Kind of knobby, but kind of like mini knobby tires, if you will. Quick release front wheel. I think oil suspension shock up front. You've got S-Ride shifter. Pretty nice soft rubber handlebars or grips here. Nice color display. Integrated battery here. It's a 13.6 amp hour battery. They say it's good for up to 50 miles. We'll put that to the test at some point. I added a quick frame bag today just to carry some stuff with me for this shoot. The key unlock is here. This unlocks the battery. That's really all it's for. The battery has some color displays in terms of how well it's charged. Red, green, and blue. Red is close to dead. Green is half charged, and blue is fully charged. What else? I added a water bottle mount on the bottom there. It's an 8-speed bike, so it's got 8 speeds on it down there. Nice beefy rack on the back. Integrated brake light and a front headlight as well. It's pretty decent, actually. I tried it out at night, and you get some side views with it, some side coverage with that light. So they did a pretty good job with that overall. But just a great looking bike, and plastic fenders, which I had to install. When you do get the bike, comes in a box, of course. You have to put on the front tire. You have to put on the handlebars. You have to put on the fender on the front, and the pedals as well. So 4 things, kind of takes about a half hour, maybe 20 minutes if you're good at this. And so it wasn't a bad install at all. And off we go. So been riding it for about a week now. Put about 50 miles on the bike, and so far so good. So I'll show you some ride footage later, so stay tuned for that. And It also comes with tools as well. It's got a nice multi-tool here with basically every Allen bolt you'll need for the bike. It's got a screwdriver on it, both Phillips head and flat. This is a really great tool. It's basically all you'll ever need to actually maintain the bike as far as the nuts and bolts go. So shout out to Espin for throwing that in there. All right, so let's talk about the pros and cons of this bike. Right, so I've got about 10 or 11 pros and a couple of cons I want to mention. So number one, it comes with tools, right? So I also have a wrench in there they gave you to put the pedals on. So love that aspect of it. Just number two, great looks. It's just a great looking bike. Comes in matte black or cobalt blue. I like the matte black actually because it makes the bike look, number three on my list, number 3 pro, stealthy, right? You might not know it's an e-bike at first glance when you come up to this bike. And I love that aspect, right? I've been called cheater before on some of the trails. And it looks more like a regular bike too. It doesn't look like a traditional e-bike, if you will, like the electric, for example, and some of those fat tires that are out there. This is a really nice, stealthy looking bike. And I think you're gonna find that it's gonna be a little more under the radar when it comes to other people seeing it and thinking it's an e-bike or not. It's got Espin on the side here. It's got an E in the front, and that's the only branding on the bike overall. So with the integrated battery, you just can't tell if there's a battery or not on this thing. So that's number 3. Number 4, which I like, no rattling on this bike. It is super quiet on the road. And number 5, that's another part of that is because of the motor. This motor is whisper quiet. All right. The only thing you hear riding this bike is the tires, essentially. I can barely hear that motor. Let me, I'll try and turn it on here for you, and you can get a sense of what that sounds like. You can hear it there, but you cannot hear this bike on the road at all. And so compared to my electric XP, which is really whiny sounding, you can hear that motor while 100 feet away. You can't hear this motor at all when you're riding it, and that's another reason why I call it stealthy. So it's whisper quiet, in my opinion. I love the thumb throttle here versus the twist. I just prefer thumb throttle for some reason. I love that. It's in perfect placement here for when you do hit the throttle, and I love that aspect of it overall. Let's see, number 7 on my pros, amazing brakes, hydraulic brakes. I'm not sure what brand they are. Doesn't really matter because they work awesome, guys. If you've never had hydraulic brakes and you're stepping up from mechanical, it's a world of difference on these bikes, especially the heavier bikes. I was watching some of the new Magic Cycle reviews online. That bike, which is over 70 pounds, comes with mechanical brakes. And to me, that's not right. They should come with hydraulic brakes in a bike that size. And hydraulic brakes just stop much better when you're riding these bikes. They stop on a dime. They give you much more control and confidence, especially when you're going downhill at high speed. They really just inspire you to brake softly and safely when you're out there riding these things. So number 7 is the brakes. Number 8. This bike is quick. It has got great torque coming off the line. Even though it's only a class 2, I think I got it up to about 24 miles an hour in pedal assist 5. But the torque on this thing is really great. So, one of my favorite ways to use the throttle is in crossing a street. And I had to cross the street, across a main street to get here today. That street is pretty busy. So I need to get across that road quickly, and the throttle on this just pushes me right across in a couple of seconds, and I really like that. My electric takes about a half a second to a second to actually wind up and start pushing you ahead. So this gets you off the line much more quickly than the other 500-watt bikes that I've tried. So I'm really pleasantly surprised by the power of the Espin motor here. Number 9, it's got an integrated brake light. First time I've had one of those. I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but it is blinking there. Let's turn the bike around. There you go. Here is the headlight, by the way. Yeah, I love that aspect of it. Integrated brakes, got to have those for safety riding overall. It shifts really well too. This S ride shifter is up here. It's got a low gear and a high gear buttons. So there's 2 buttons essentially to shift the gears. It's been working well so far. No go shift or anything while I've been riding it. And the headlight's pretty decent. I mean, it's at night. I tried it at night. It's got some nice side coverage, and seems to be pretty well. You may want to add just smaller light up here as well if you do any kind of night riding with it. But just love the overall look and feel, the design of it, and it's definitely a fun bike to ride as well. So got to have fun in these things, and the Espin Sport is definitely a fun bike to ride. All right, there's a few things that need improvement on the bike. Of course, every bike has its pros and cons. And on the Espin Sport, I'd say first of all, the chain guard. There's only a one-sided chain guard, nothing on the inside. And I was wearing jeans the other day, and I actually got my jeans. They've rubbed up against the chain, almost got caught, didn't, but it happened a couple of times. So they could use another side guard inside that chain ring there. Of course, the seat needs to be changed out. It's hard as a rock, and there's no suspension here. So I actually bought a Zoom seat post and a biker seat for placing on here. By the way, I'm going to do a full accessory video on this as well. I've got a couple accessories on already, such as the water bottle from water bottle mount and the frame bag here, but got some other stuff I'm going to add to the bike, and I'll do a kind of an accessory video as well at some point after this. My third con is the display panel. There's no voltage indicator. So I just did a video on battery voltage is really your gas tank, and it's hard to tell where you're at with the battery on this, because all you have is the bars on the energy bar here, and also you have the color codes on the battery itself, but it doesn't give you an exact number, right? I don't know exactly what percentage it's at, or or what voltage it's at. So I'm going to have to do a full range test and see what I can get out of it, and kind of go from there, and see what it's like. So that's another con. Also, you can't see what gear you're in. This S-Ride shifter has no indicator on it, so I kind of have to guess and know what gear I am, or look down at the sprocket down there and see where we are on the gears. So that's about it. Now the last con I'll mention is the battery issue I had, and so let me stop the tape and take the battery out, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Now I'm going to remove the battery, turn the key, pop it out, and so one of the issues I had with this bike was the battery was not inserting itself all the way into the frame of the bike. So what we had to do was this little clip here on the battery, which actually clips onto the lock inside the battery, needed to come out more. So Espin said to put a washer underneath here. So you just unscrew this tab right here, put in a washer underneath the screw, put the clip back on, and screw it back in. That completely solved the issue. No more battery popping out. And I was a little worried at first when I got the bike and this issue happened, but very simple fix. Espin said they're going to address the change in the model for 2022. So they've known about the issue, and thankfully it's a easy fix and not something that I'm worried about as far as if I would buy another bike like this. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew about that, and it is a known issue with some of these things, and so but it's easy fix, and I'm glad that Espin support was pretty good around that, and also the Facebook group as well had some good thoughts around the fix as well with these things. So all right, here's the color controller on the Espin Sport. I like the controller overall, the display. I guess my one complaint would be the lack of information. There's just not a whole lot here. That is your only battery level. There's no voltage, there's no percentage on there. Your speed is here. You flip through the modes. You've got the average speed and and the max speed that you've hit. I hit that on a downhill, and basically that's it as far as kind of major data goes. On the you got a trip, you got a time, you got a odometer, and I'm on 54 miles right now. That just shows the power setting you're on, PS level, and the tripometer. Alright guys, welcome to the channel. On the Espin Sport PAS2. Gonna give you some first impressions today for this new Commuter Ebike. It's got really good hill climbing power. I'm in 8th gear right now, and only in PS2. Not really working that hard to go up this little hill. And we're gonna cross the main street here. So this is one reason I like this bike, because it gets across this street lickety quick. Just like that. It's got really nice torque off the line. I think it's 55 Newton meters if I'm not mistaken. And it's definitely a lot quicker than my electric, which is also a 500 watt motor. Let's take some corners here. It's a class 2 e-bike. I think top speed is about 24, 25. Nice grippy tires on these. Front suspension works really well. That rattling up front is just some of those hello. That rattling up front is just some of these screws that I gotta take out. They're loose. All right, let's go up my hills here. Drop the gear down a little. Nice and easy. We're at 11.6, 11.5, 11.4. It's kind of staying steady there at 11 miles an hour. Definitely a better hill climber than my electric, that's for sure. All right. Back in the 8th gear. Pedal assist 1 is about 10 miles an hour. Right now we're PS2, which is about 12 and change. This bike has good balance. Again, it's very light, so I really feel I can do anything in this bike. In the PS3 now, it's about 16 miles an hour. Pretty good cadence in the PAS level so far. I got scared those kids. These hydraulic brakes on here are awesome. I tried them out on the walkie. We stopped on a dime, and these brakes, hydraulic brakes, are just, in my opinion, much better than mechanical. It's got pretty good balance. I'm using no hands right now. Got ourselves a nice downhill here. $27, $28, $29, $30. Stopping power on these brakes is just amazing. Overall, I give the Espin 21 Sport 4 stars out of 5. I really enjoy its quickness, hill climbing ability, and agility on the road. If you buy one, you'll definitely want to add a suspension seat post and softer seat to make the ride more comfortable. This e-bike would be a great commuter bike or even just your daily rider for zipping around the neighborhood and hitting up your local rail trails. It doesn't scream e-bike when you approach it, so the Sport may be a good choice for those of you who want a little more stealthiness while still being able to get around town. And just a reminder, you can get $50 off Espin e-bikes by clicking the link in this video description. Thanks for watching.